Clark opens up to Lois about his ongoing struggles with visions and admits that there is only one person who might be able to help. Hello everyone, I'm Steve from Valhartv, and today I'll be reviewing Superman and Lois Season 2, Episode 2. So we start out this episode with kind of a cool breakfast scene where Lois is making a ton of food for everybody because John and Natalie are staying with them. So she's really trying to impress Natalie and trying to, to get her to open up to her so they can become friends. And I thought that was really cool because there's a ton of food, and then Natalie comes in and is like, yeah, I'm kind of vegan, sorry. And she's like, oh, what? She's looking at the food. The kids are all looking at the food, and Clark is like, well, I guess you guys are going to have enough food for a while. And then he has an episode. So we end up seeing that Clark has an episode, and Lois has to keep talking to him to bring him out of it. But this is also when the earthquake stops as well, so he comes out of it then too. So we really get to see that there's that these events are coinciding together and stuff, and he opens up to her and tells her that he's been seeing visions. Now, in the first episode, you really can't tell too much because they're really fast and it flashes a lot, so it's hard to tell that they're visions. Towards the end of the episode, you see like a arm come out with a light on it, so I'm not sure what that's about from the first episode, but we do see the same thing in the mines later on when we get a glimpse of what's down there, and it's like 4 lights. So again, they're trying to keep it mysterious, so I'm wondering if it's who some people are saying it might be. I'm thinking it might be like maybe Doomsday, but we'll have to wait and see, obviously. And, so John is there with Natalie, and Natalie's going to Smallville High now. So she's transferred there. It's her first day, and John's really trying to focus on Natalie and help her adjust everything. But we really see, like, once she's there and she's actually hanging out with Lois and Jonathan and Jordan, she doesn't really need that much because she's adjusting kind of well, I think, in this. And we really see that she's more than capable of doing a lot of stuff, especially when she shows how smart she is to Sarah. And we see that later on again in the episode where she's helping out with the car, and we just see like just a tip of how smart she is. So I really think that's awesome. That we're actually seeing this versus being flashbacks like in season 1. So that I thought was really good as well. And then we have Lana. Now, in the first episode, I cracked up laughing because, like I said in my other video, she was literally doing all the talking for the mayor candidate, Daniel, and he was just kind of taking the credit for it. So we see in this episode that he really, like, she's doing all the heavy lifting for this guy, and he's just running along with it. But then he, like, decides not to. So something happens with him, and her decision to keep going isn't really a surprise because she was already doing all the heavy lifting. So I thought that was actually kind of funny and good, but you can see it coming. Even in episode 1, I kind of was like, yeah, she's doing all the lifting. She may as well do it herself. And yeah, so that's what happens in this one. But we do get a lot of other things that happen in this episode too. We get the return of Morgan Edge, which I thought was kind of cool because he's in a prison, and it's the red kryptonite sun to keep him powerless, and he apparently plays along with that, which I thought was kind of cool. But Clark has to go to him because he needs help because he thinks that these are lingering effects from the Eradicator, and Morgan Edge doesn't really know, but he's pretty sure of like that it's not. So they go to Morgan Edge's fortress, and we meet Clark's mother, Lara. So now she's the new AI. And I thought it was really good. The dialogue between the three of them was really good. Morgan Edge in this episode, I'll skip to like the acting. I thought he was fantastic, especially the emotion he brought when he was talking to his mother, and the fact that she didn't get him from away from his father and stuff. I thought was very good. It was really good. And when they go to Edge's fortress, Jordan actually steps up. You know, like we get to see another episode with Clark and the Visions, and this is when Edge kind of decides to make his move, but Jordan steps up and he's like, you need to step back and you need to calm down, and they get in a fight. But Jordan, I think, is getting stronger. I really think they should start training him more to actually help out Superman. I know that Clark doesn't want him to because they're only 15, but he needs to learn his powers, and he needs to keep growing them, you know, making sure they're stronger and stronger, because he's going to eventually have to do stuff. Like we seen it at the end of season 1 where he got Zeta Rose mind put in him. So he really needs to be able to step up and protect himself a little bit more versus having other people help him out like that. So I really want to see them start training him more. Honestly, I think that would be awesome. And Jonathan, I really think they need to start doing some more stuff with him. He needs to start learning some stuff from John and maybe even Natalie. I think he'd be a great friggin' guy to get, like, you know, really smart and things like that. But I really I still don't really understand why they didn't give him powers either, because he's a twin. So he should have the same things as his brother, but at the same time, I get that he wasn't supposed to be a twin, and it was done because of the multiverse reset, but still, I want to see them do something more with him as well. And while all this is actually happening, Lois is investigating I think it's Armtech. I can't remember the name of it now, though. I apologize. But they're at the mines, and they're trying to excavate the X-Kryptonite, I guess, for the DOD. But that's not really clear. And the doctor that's there, she's very mysterious, and she isn't really forthcoming. You can kind of tell when she's talking to Lois about what's going on at the mine and things like that. But while all of that's even going on, she has to deal with an old article that resurfaces about a cult and a female cult leader who apparently was getting girls to delete themselves, you know, and I think that's kind of interesting, too, because, again, we're seeing right off the bat that there's stuff going on with Clark. Now, all of a sudden, episode 2, there's stuff going on with Lois. And then we've got the boys thrown in, and we've got Natalie, and we've got Lana with the mayor campaign going on. So we get a ton of stuff right out of the gate, you know, right off the bat with this season. So I really like the way they've opened up this season. It's right out of the gate running. And that's really good. That's some really good writing on their part. There are a few things that, again, in the that I don't really generally agree with in any TV show, like the huge drama. But I get this is also, you know, geared towards teens because the kids are all like 15. So I get that. I just wish they'd have a little bit less of it and more like plots with them actually growing, you know, actually doing something good, you know, is what I'm trying to say. And just keep running with everything, because that, I think, is way better than any of the teen drama or the who's in a relationship with who type stuff. That really never was important to me as much as the actual storyline and a good plot. So there was some really good, like the visions in this episode were actually good. You can tell they were more of a vision once the Clark said it out loud, and then they started showing it. You could see more of it because they slowed it down. Like in episode 1, it was super flashy and it was really fast. This, they slowed down just a little bit. It's still fast, but you can kind of tell more that it's visions. Also, he says it, so you're like, oh, that's what it is. That's how I took it myself. But the CGI in this was really good. It was really good. And what we see in the mines is very interesting because it's still like too dark to see exactly what it is. So nobody's really sure, but I think it might actually be Doomsday, but I may be wrong. I'm hoping it's going to be something a little bit cooler, instead of bringing in Doomsday right off the bat. But we'll have to wait and see again. And again, the acting in this went, I think, to Edge this time. Lois was extremely good. So wasn't Natalie. I really liked Natalie in this as well. But I think the dialogue between Edge and Lara was absolutely fantastic. I mean, it really showed the emotion of him being raised by a tyrant versus being raised by somebody that would have loved him. And I really liked that. So again, we really start to see what's causing the quakes in this episode and why it's affecting Clark. But we also get to see like a lot of different stuff in Smallville changing too, like who is running for mayor, the Smallville Gazette that's being run with Lois, and like the article with her coming up now after years of it being written. So now they're questioning that. So now we've got more drama with that. She's trying to get to know Natalie even more now because I think she likes the fact that she's there because, again, last season we found out she lost a daughter that she was pregnant with. So I think this is kind of helping her cope with that. But at the same time, it's, there's probably should be a line that you shouldn't cross because it's not your daughter from this world. So we'll have to wait and see about how that all flushes out. But I actually think Natalie's going to be a very vital part to this team. I really like the way they brought her into this. So if you guys like what I do, please hit the like button and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Take care for now, everyone.